Hey, it's Jeremy and Kai here. I want to talk about rowing today. We've got our upcoming annual fitness assessment coming up, and we wanted to give you all some performance tips on the rower to help you better perform during the physical assessment. So, this year, as compared to last year, we're using the rower for your VO2 max assessment. Last year we used the Gherkin protocol via the treadmill. This year we're going to do a VO2 max on the rower. A lot more accurate assessment readings. It's going to give people who had some limitations last year a lot better chance for success during this test. It's also going to give you a baseline that you can go off of and come back to from time to time to see just how you're doing. VO2 max for us is a good measurement of cardiorespiratory endurance. So getting on the rower and rowing 2,000 meters for time is going to be our test for the VO2 max. What we're going to do now is Kai's going to demonstrate the rower to us. I'm going to go over those performance tips, talk about some pieces on the rower that you're going to need to know about, how to adjust damper settings, how to sit on the rower, foot positioning, posture, things like that. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is some components of the rower. First component of the rower is going to be your flywheel here with an adjustable damper. So this adjustable damper is going to do just that. It's going to adjust the amount of airflow in and out of the rower. So if this damper is set at a 1, it's going to have very little resistance. It's going to spin freely, spin very fast. If I roll it all the way up to a 10, it's going to be a lot of resistance. We can compare that to a stationary bike. So if I was on a stationary bike and I wanted more resistance, I'd roll that thing up to a higher number. If I wanted less resistance, I'd go down to a lower number. So today, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put Kai at about a 5. It's a good place to start. I'd suggest anybody start at around a 5 just to start getting a feel for the rower if you've never been on one before. General rules of thumb on where to set the damper. Bigger guys usually go for higher numbers to start out with. Smaller guys go to a lower number. The reason being, bigger guys can pull harder and they don't have to pull as fast. So meaning they have less strokes per minute, okay? So we're looking at bigger guy, 20 to 24 strokes per minute. Smaller guy is gonna be 28, maybe 32 strokes per minute. So going back to the bigger guy, maybe at about a 7 is where he likes it, okay? Someone a little bit smaller might like it about a 3, but the opposite could hold true. These are general rules of thumb, just good guidelines to start with. I know plenty of guys who are 6'5" who like seeing the damper on a 3. So these are just good places to start. So today, like I said, we're going to start at a 5. When you do your physical assessment testing this year, you'll be able to set that damper wherever you want to. So get a feel for it. Try a couple of 2,000 meter rows at a high number. Try a couple at a low number. Move it throughout the test. Whatever you want to do to just kind of see where you perform better. Okay guys, so now we're going to talk about the performance module. The performance module is the screen that's going to be staring at you in the face through these 2,000 meters of rowing that you're going to do. I'm going to walk Kai through the process of getting into that program of 2,000 meter row. So when you turn on the PM, you can turn that PM on in any way. You can move the rower and it will feel movement, so it turns on. If you need to, like Kai's going to have to do right now, he's going to hit the menu/back button. It's going to go through a little startup sequence, say C2, then it's going to come up to a menu, okay? So when you're getting on here and you're just out training and you just want to get a few meters in or something like that, you can hit the Just Row button and it's going to come up to a Just Row button, and you can show it in calories, you can show it in meters, you can show it in watts as far as the measurement of your work output. We typically default these to meters rowed. We like to see how much distance we've covered. Today, Kai's going to select a 2,000 meter row. So he's going to go to select workout. That's going to be your second one down. He's going to go to the standard list at the top, and at the very top is a 2,000 meter row. Okay, what this is going to do is it's going to count down from 2,000 to 0, and at the end, there won't be any discretion. There's no need for a stopwatch on this. At the very end, it's going to display what his time was on his 2,000 meter row. One other thing I want to point out real quick while we're sitting here and looking at this screen. The second number down below that 2,000 meter is going to be your pace. And this pace is based on a 500 meters pace, like how long it's taken you to row 500 meters. So you could compare that to a 400-meter run or a lap around a track. The 500-meter row is pretty much the equivalent for that. So if you're seeing 1 minute and 40 seconds on there on that pacer, that means it's your average pace for a 500-meter row would be 140. Right now, of course, we're rowing 2,000 meters. So if you're showing a 2-minute pace, you would know that, hey, I'm probably going to have about an 8-minute 2,000-meter row. Okay, so now we're going to talk about foot position. Foot position is going to be different for everybody depending on how big your foot is. It's about as simple as that. So Kai's going to go ahead and strap in today. Right now we've got these pegs set all the way down. Kai's going to have to adjust that to his foot. He likes it at about a 2. Where we're going to find for Kai, once he places his foot in there, is that the balls of his feet are going to be resting right about here on top of this foot pad. So go ahead and put your feet in there, Kai, and we'll take a look at that. So as you can see right here, he's locked in the back, his heel's in the back in this little cup, and at the very top on this pedestal or foot pad, you can see the ball of his foot right about the top of there. That's, once again, a general rule of thumb. Do whatever's comfortable for you. Like you did see, Kai got into the rower and he strapped himself in. So he pulls up to strap himself in. When you get off of the rower to dismount the rower, all you're gonna have to do is take this little strap and push it away from you. That's gonna loosen up. You saw he immediately kicked forward and then he's gonna pull back to get out of the rower. So Kai, let's demonstrate real quick you getting stuck in the rower, not being able to get out. So now Kai is going to show us the wrong way to dismount the rower. So he just got done with 2,000 meters of rowing. He wants out of that rower and he can't get out because he started pulling back and he didn't kick forward first. So here we are. We're sitting on the rower, ready to row. Kai strapped his feet in where he wants them. His foot position's good. He's programmed his 2,000 meter row on the PM here. Let's talk about position of the body. Let's talk about posture for just a second. So Kai's in what I would call the neutral position right now on the rower. As far as where he is on the rail here with the seat's right about midway down. His legs are at about a 90-degree angle here. I've got a good spine alignment, meaning his lumbar up through his thoracic, up through his cervical spine, all in one good fine line. We're going to want that throughout the row. We're not going to want to see flexion. We're not going to want to see extension. We're going to want to see good spinal alignment. Okay? So Kai, go ahead and grab this paddle for me. When Kai grabs that paddle, he can grab this paddle however he wants to. Okay? He can grab that paddle narrow. He can grab it wide. He can wrap his thumbs around it. He can not wrap his thumbs around it. Okay? I would recommend a palm down orientation. First and foremost, that's my only recommendation there. Beyond that, do whatever's more comfortable for you. Wide, narrow, thumbs around, thumbs not, doesn't matter, okay? As you can see, as he came to that paddle, he got closer to the gate being this piece right here. Once he gets closer to the gate and his hips come into more of a flexion, he's making sure that he keeps his back in a good, solid posture, good spinal alignment the whole time, okay? We've got 3 pieces to the row. That's going to be a leg drive, hip extension, and a pull. It's going to happen in that sequence every row. One happens before the other. They're fluid. One doesn't stop and then the other begins. As one ends, the other begins. So, Kai, what I want you to do is I want you to just start rowing, and we'll just kind of describe it as we go. So let's come to the gate. Let's just start pulling. So he's going to pull through there. What we're demonstrating here is good rowing technique. I want you to notice leg drive, hip extension, followed by the pull. The last thing that he's doing is finishing off that movement with the pull. Okay? So let's go ahead and pause here at the bottom. Come to the bottom for me. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break this row down into 3 movements. Those 3 movements are going to be the leg drive, the hip extension, and the pull at the end of the drive. So Kai's down here, he's grabbed the paddle, he's close to the gate, he's still got a good neutral spine, head is still lined up with the back. He's in hip flexion, we call this hip flexion, he's close. As he drives back, we're going to show this leg drive, the first piece to the puzzle. So leg drive, let's go back. Excellent, okay? So as he comes back to that drive, that's your biggest bang for your buck, using the biggest muscles in your body. Let's come back one more time, Kai, and show me hip extension. Leg drive, hip extension. So to describe that hip extension, come on into the gate. Right here we're looking at about a 1 o'clock position on the clock. Let's go back. Go back into that hip extension. I call that 10, maybe 11 o'clock. That's good. You want to stay in that range. 1 o'clock to 10, maybe 11 o'clock the whole time. Okay? While we're here, Kai, go ahead and show me where we don't want to be. Go back a little bit farther. Okay? Now he's going to have to use a lot of accessory muscles to get back to that gate. He's going to have to do a sit-up. Let's stay away from that. Let's keep this movement efficient. All right, Kai, let's go back to the gate. He's going to go back to the gate. He's going to show me the full meal deal, nice and slow. We've got leg drive, followed by hip extension, followed by a pull at the end. Fluid movements, one's ending, the next beginning. Let's do a few more to show me a few good reps here. All the way through. You can see that at the very top of the row, he's touching his sternum. He's coming to his sternum every time. At the bottom, he's getting close to this gate. You don't have to be on the gate, but the more you move this chain, the more you're going to row every stroke, okay? If you want to make big gains, it's coming closer to the gate. The big gains aren't really made back here by leaning farther back and getting inefficient. Being up here, getting closer to that gate every pull. As he comes into the bottom, you can see that he's keeping those active shoulders, okay? Let's stay at the bottom one time for me, Kai. Okay, he's keeping those active shoulders, keeping that chest pushed through, good neutral spine. All right, let's show a crash. So let's just bring your head forward and just crash into the rower. Okay, so that would be the opposite, right? Now we're in total flexion of that thoracic spine. You're going to totally lose any amount of power momentum you were going to get out of that hip drive in that position. All right, and then let's show me just some, show me throwing that head back. So as you come through, and then you're kind of overextending. Right, so now he's kind of just throwing that head back. Remember, wherever your head goes, your back's going to follow. So if your head goes into this super hyperextension, your back's going to follow that, and you're going to find yourself in a loose position with your lower back, and you're going to lose power in that hip drive as well. So looking from this angle, we're seeing that Kai's keeping those knees in good alignment with the ankles as he comes through at the top. Chest is coming forward. You can see that this is not a sprint right here that he's doing. What he's doing is he's putting every amount of effort that he can into the pull, and every bit of chance that he can get to relax as he comes back to the gate, he's taking that advantage. So you should really be seeing yourself doing a 1 count on the pull and a 2 count on the relax or on the rebound, giving your body a chance to relax. Don't find yourself rushing back to the gate. Your body is naturally going to follow itself back to that gate to get that next pull. Let that relaxation happen. Put everything you can into that next pull. Okay, so Kai's going to do some inefficient work right now. He's going to pull fast, but he's not going to have full strokes. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we just had 10 strokes there. You can see that his stroke rate, you can find on the bottom left of your screen, was 48 strokes per minute. In 10 strokes, he covered 72 meters. Now let's see what those same 10 strokes look like at about half the stroke pace with full strokes. So, 10 strokes that time, full, effective, efficient strokes. We've got a stroke rate at 24 per minute. He covered 142 meters. He doubled the distance that he was able to do, the same number of strokes. More energy was obviously put into it. He's pulling harder, but he's not pulling as much. So at the end of the day, definitely a much more efficient movement.
Hi, I am Kai, and this is Jeremy, and we are ready to pump you up!